So, orbital notation for nickel. All right, nickel has a 1s. Make that a little skinnier. 1s, 2s, 2p, 3s, 3p, 4s. I'm at 20. And then I have 3d, which has 5 lines, and I need what, 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. For arsenic, is that what I gave you next? Arsenic, I need what? 33? 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s2, 3d10, 4p, 1, 2, 3. We okay? Any issues with those? All right, and the dot diagram, I asked for probably one of those. Arsenic. So, for the dot diagram, what is my highest energy level in arsenic? 4. So, I have a 4 here, and I have a 4 here. So, excuse me, when I draw my outer shell on the 4, my one line has how many electrons? 2. On my 4p, I have 3 lines. How do my arrows look? Single, single, and single. So when I draw my dot diagram, my dots have to mimic my arrows. So 2 together, pick one of my 4 sides. Does it matter which side? Nope. I tend to put mine on the top. You do not have to put yours on top. They can be anywhere. And then 3 single arrows, so 3 single dots. So as long as you have 2 together and 3 single dots, the sides do not matter. Okay? Questions? All right. So, homework. I don't think I kept my sticky note. Let me see if it did. I had it written on a sticky note where I typed it into. Website. I think I threw it out. All right. Tell me what the homework was because I threw it out. Yeah. I got that. What 2 were they?
V and SN.
V and SN. Okay, hang on. Just let me do V. Why'd you do it wrong? What was wrong about it? Yeah, I was listening to that. So what'd you do wrong about it? What'd you do wrong about it?
Oh no, it was the same thing. I could put a 1 there. Not a 1, but an arrow. Like
you put 1 arrow, then went back and put the second.
That's okay.
No,
she did it all at once.
1 for each of them and then came back.
Oh, okay. So that's V. Questions? Okay.
Wait.
That's V.
Okay.
All right, SN.
Okay.
All right, where am I at? 4P, 5S, 4D, 5P, 1, 2. All right, there's 10.
Well, at least I got that.
All right, questions about 10? Any questions? Your quiz tomorrow will be on being able to draw these. There's no partial credit. These are the first 2 questions on the quiz. 2 orbital notations. No, they will not be the same elements. But the first 2 questions are orbital notations. So are there any issues with drawing orbital notations?
You give us
Quiz.
your numbers you give us to
issue, I
be.
just don't wanna do it.
You don't get a
It's
vote.
a lot of work.
I don't care. All right, electron configurations. What are the 2 I asked for?
SN.
Who?
SN.
SN?
SR.
SR. I was going to say, I didn't ask for the same
Oh,
thing.
you say electron.
Yeah, SR and
I.
I. All right. So SR would be 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s2, 3d10, 4p6, 5s2. 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s2, 3d10, 4p6, 5s2, 4d10, 5p5.
Are you okay?
All right? Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Did I miss one?
I stopped at 4F. Wait.
1s, 2s, 2p, 3s, 3p, 4s, 3d, 4p, 5s2. SR should stop on 5s2. And then I, 1s, 2s, 2p, 3s, 3p, 4s, 3d, 4p, 5s. That's a really ugly S. And then 4d10 and 5p, 5.
I put 5. I mean, on the first one, I put, you know where you put 4p6?
Yeah?
I put 4p2 and I stopped.
No. Because 4p2 would put us at GE. That'd be 32 electrons. Because that would be 2, 4, 10, 12, 18, 20, 30. 4p2 would be 32. I don't know. But that'd put us at 32. And we need 38. All I can tell you is it does not add 38 if you stop at 4p2. 2, 4, 10, 12, 18, 20, 30. If that's a 2, that's 32. And then this would be 2 would be 34. It won't add 38.
I need one more
But
of this.
I know it's late tomorrow.
All right, so dot diagram. All right, which 2 are we doing? I know it was one of the ones we already drew. All right, so I's right here. So what's the highest energy level in this?
5.
So we got S2 and P5. All right, so 2 has 1 line and 2 arrows, and P has 3 lines and 5 arrows. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've got essentially 7 dots. Only one way to draw 7 dots. All right, what was the other one? SN, you said?
Yeah.
So SN, I drew back here. So SN is what? The bottom one. So I have a P here and an S here. So I have 2 that are paired and 2 that are singles. So 1, 1, and a blank side. Questions?
I'm good.
This was a pair. Single, single, blank. Now, those are the first 6 questions on the quiz tomorrow. 2 orbitals, 2 electrons, 2 dots.
That's all, right?
2 shorthands.
What if I don't go to school now?
Other hand.
Wait, for the
2 orbitals, 2 electrons, 2 dots, 2 shorthands.
I have to Short numbers.
But did you
Huh?
write?
What else is on the quiz?
Am I speaking Japanese? 2 orbital notations, 2 electron configurations, 2 dot diagrams, 2 shorthands. That's how many questions? There is nothing else on the quiz. I promise. I am not making it up. I've already photocopied it. The only thing you don't know is which elements. That's all you don't know is which elements. I promise, Chris. I am not making it up.
Okay, well, for orbital notation, can it be anything above 2?
I promise they are the shortest of the questions on the quiz. That I will tell you.
Definition is short and my definition is short.
Now, they are not hydrogen and helium.
How about
They are not over 50.
They're not over 50.
They are not over 50.
phosphorus?
What you're saying is.
Yes.
I'm confused on the dots. I thought we were supposed to go by the electron configuration.
We did.
But I got the 5s and a 2 and then 5p and a 5. And you had.
We did for iodine.
You can use the same thing.
For iodine, we did. We picked the 5s2 and the 5p5 for iodine. For SN? If I had written it with the electron configuration, I would have picked 5s2 and 5p2. But we drew that one with the arrows. So I still looked for the biggest coefficient, and the biggest coefficient was a 5. So I circled the 5s, right? For SN, the biggest coefficient was a 5. So I circled the 5s. So 5s. And then the 5s2 had them paired. And the 5p had 2 singles and 1 that was empty. So when I drew the dots, the 5s had to be paired. And then the 5p had 2 that were singles and 1 that was empty. So even if I had written it as 5s2 and 5p2 like this, I would still wind up having to draw these so I would know how to do the dots.
I'm just getting confused because I did one of them wrong and I think I put the wrong number of arrows.
Which one?
I don't know.
Well, that doesn't help me sort out the problem.
I don't know. I just messed up somewhere.
Well, let's do shorthand. When we do shorthand, we'll practice some dots with the shorthand. How's that?
Have we done the dot thing for iodine yet?
Yeah, that was this one. Right here. It's got a big eye in the middle of it. Find your color-coded periodic tables. I'm only missing Lewis and Angel today, right?
Wait, what was we learning on Friday?
Huh?
What was we learning on Friday with you?
We learned how to read the periodic table with those on Friday. All right. So if I shrink that a tad. All right. So tomorrow, do you get to use these periodic tables on the quiz? Okay. I'm glad several of you said no. That's very good. These are notes, people. Just because I gave you a periodic table to color on does not mean you get to whip your notes out on the quiz. Have I ever let you use your notes on a quiz?
Yes.
No, I haven't. We're not starting tomorrow, okay? I will give you a periodic table you can write on, though, so you can draw your numbers, you can label it and mark it up any way you want to, okay? I will be that kind. However, you cannot pull the periodic table out of your notebook and lay it beside your quiz with all this stuff on it. So you have to know which blocks are S, P, D, F, and you have to be able to put the numbers in, okay? So
Wait, but do we have to use that? Can we just draw the chart?
remember when I said Friday, this, and this cannot be read with those arrows and I have purposefully stayed out of those elements with that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 SP with those diagonal arrows. Do you think I'm going to limit myself on the quiz and test and not give you those elements?
Yes.
Okay, you live in fantasy land.
You're gonna bless us that you like us that much.
I do like y'all.
We're your best.
But if you want to guess that I'm going to stay out of those elements tomorrow on the quiz and the test, you go right ahead.
Okay.
Y'all look good with 76s and
No, we don't.
okay.
No, we don't.
Because I can virtually guarantee you're going to see something in that range tomorrow on the quiz.
I thought you said we ain't have nothing that's.
I said orbital notation would not go past 50. Everybody's like, you're not going to give us more than 50 arrows to draw. And I said, yes, you will not have more than 50 arrows. I will even say that I'm not giving you past 35 arrows to draw. Okay?
Are you giving us past 20?
Aren't you such a saint?
I don't want to grade but so many arrows. Okay? Now, I'm not going to tell you I'm not giving anything down here because I can guarantee you're going to see something in that range. Okay? So you have to learn how to draw and read this part of the periodic table. So what are the numbers you need to start with here? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, it's not hard to remember. What energy level does the D sublevel have to start with? What sublevel is D? Alex is holding up his fingers. What sublevel is D? SPD. It's which sublevel? It's the third sublevel. You have to start with 3. What sublevel is F? SPDF. F is which one? You have to start with 4. The P sublevel.
Yes, and they're very tough.
Okay? Their numbers are not hard to come up with. They are based on the sublevels. If you want to put a number over here in front of helium, it's a 1 because it's still an S. Okay? Now, for Almaja, who for some reason has forgotten we did this on Friday, let's just say we're going to read iron for her to give her a refresher. So, when we read the periodic table, we start at the left and we read left to right. Once we do left to right, okay, we go down. It reads just like the page on a book. When you get to the end, you go back to the left, next line. So, if we read iron, what's the first number we see?
1,
What block is this?
S,
1S. How many elements?
2,
1, 2. That's how they got 2, Almaja. When I get to the end of the row, back to the left, drop down 1 row. What number do I see?
2,
So I write 2. What block is this?
2,
S.
2.
1, 2. That's why they're all yelling 2 at me. Okay? Continue across. The next number I see is 2. This block is the P block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Once I get here, back over here, 3. S block, 2. Continue on. 3. P. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, back over here. And we keep going because we haven't gotten to iron yet. Does that make sense? So 4. S. 1, 2. 3.
P6.
D. We're only going to iron, so I'm not just going to write 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I count the one I'm writing, so I write 6. Everybody remember doing that?
So you picked the one with the W. We're going to continue to do that until we get to W.
Yes. There's a glitch on W, though. We're going to talk about that.
What do you mean split?
I'm getting there. We're not there yet. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I'm tired of starting in 1S. So on Friday, we took some notes, and I told you that shorthand used the noble gases. Where did we say the noble gases were? The last column. These right here are the noble gases. Now, to use shorthand is often called the noble gas notation or shorthand notation. We have to use the noble gas immediately preceding our element. So let's say we do iron again. Okay? Fe is here. Which noble gas is immediately before iron? If you can't find it, go to the end of the row and go up 1. So right to the end of the row, and up 1. It's argon. And you put argon in brackets. That takes care of all of the configuration through argon. Now you're at the end of the row of argon. Everything is covered up through argon. All that 1s all the way through 3p6 is covered all the way up there. You just cruise back over here, and what do we have next? 4s2. And then 3d. That's shorthand.
This looks good.
Really? What is the noble gas immediately before iron? Hold on. I'm just putting up here what we already had. All right, that's what we wrote initially before I erased.
Yes.
All right, iron is here.
Yes.
Go to the end of the row.
Yes.
Up 1. The noble gas immediately before iron is who?
Argon.
So we're putting argon in brackets. Okay? That covers all of that. It's covered. We don't have to write all that crap. Argon takes care of that. Now, all you have to do from argon is just like you always did. Go to the back to the left side. Start on the next row. What comes next? 4. What block? S. How many elements? 4s2. 3. D.
Only 6.
And we're done. That's all we did. Argon in brackets covers all of the configuration up through the argon.
All you have to do is bring those down.
Yes. So if we wanted to write 10, you remember a little while ago when we did 10 and we had all this crap right here?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
But if we prefer.
No, you cannot if we prefer. I will tell you which one I want. The state will say, this one. You don't, this is not a democracy. You don't get a choice. Okay? This is not voting Tuesday.
But tomorrow is voting. Today's Monday.
Y'all are not of age. You don't get a choice.
get
Yes, you get, and I hope you will exercise your right tomorrow along with me.
You will.
Huh?
I said that's what happens. You get the burden. Don't let them see you, ain't you? I'll never see you again.
Surrounded by nuts. All right, so 10. What's the noble gas before 10?
Argon again.
No.
No, it's
Fifth-
KR.
fifth
KR.
You have a periodic table in front of you. Get it out. I know the letters are small. I don't expect y'all to be able to see these little letters, although I think Max even laughed. So, what letter is it?
Wait.
What is it, Devontae?
And if you don't know, just say KR. Don't make up stupid stuff, okay? KR. Now, so if we're in KR, come around here and we have what? 5S, 2, 4D, 10. Remember, we're going there. 4D all the way across.
5C2.
And 5, whoops, 5P, 2.
Is it really just as simple as all we have to do? You know, every time I understand something in this class.
There's a little bit more. Remember, I got to do this bottom part yet. But shorthand up top really is that simple.
So, give us an
Oh, wait, wait,
to
wait,
find
wait,
shorthand?
wait.
We just go up.
Yes.
And the noble gases are just that column line.
Yes, it has to be in group 18 though. Yes.
So what about L?
That's where we're going next. All right. So let's do the hard part.
It's too early.
Nope. Now, if you look at the one I gave you, I think it has numbers on it. It may not. It does? All right. So the one I gave you, I wrote some numbers in. In LA, it says number 57. And at HF, it says 72. Some genius decided the periodic table was too wide. And they cut it apart. Cut out the F block, stuck it at the bottom, and shoved the periodic table back together. I'm sorry.
Man.
Probably. Now,
Of course.
can't fix that for you. So, when you get to this blue dot, you have to cruise to the bottom.
Great.
When you get to the triangle, you have to cruise to the bottom. If you would like to draw that in on your table, feel free.
We
Okay.
can't use it on the quiz.
Yes, please.
You can't use it on the quiz. However, it might help you today while we're doing this. I'm just telling you, you can. Yes, ma'am?
So I'm looking at this thing, and I don't know if this was just like on there, and there's stars.
There are stars there. That is to tell you that when you get here, you go here. When you get here, you go here.
Same thing as the triangle.
Huh? I can't fix it for you.
Wait, but that it jumps from 89 to 104 to 90.
That's because 89 goes to 90 here, and then 103 is here because 104 is there.
They just cut that part.
Those two rows have been cut out and put at the bottom
For what? Actually,
Why they choose those ones?
because the periodic table is too wide.
like,
But why that section?
I don't know.
is
I wasn't alive then.
You put a circle.
They didn't
on one
consult
and
me.
on another.
Yeah.
I just made up two symbols. One I made a circle, one I made a triangle. You can make squares or diamonds or stars for all I care.
So if you were to ever, you were to fall this and into this.
You can do whatever you want. I'm going to show you the original one in the next unit when we talk about the history of the periodic table and the trends. It's come on.
About the history.
It's in the curriculum.
Are they going to ask us for the final exam? What year? was it?
There are only 45 questions on the final exam. I've not seen the final exam in about 7 years. I have no idea what's on the final exam. Now, let's say that we want to find W, since Caroline asked about W. All right? So, what is the noble gas in front of W? All right, go to the end of the row, up one. XC. Xenon. All right, everybody okay with that? Xenon. They're all gases. Xenon. Now, once you're at xenon, where do you go? 6s2. Folks, I'm only giving you a couple more minutes on this and we're moving on. 6s2. Once I get here, I have what? 5. What block? How far do I go before I hit this blue circle?
1.
When I hit the blue circle, where do I go?
Down.
Down to the first row.
And I have 4,
Oh.
F,
14.
14.
I don't
Don't care. When I get here, I go all the way back
We're not
to the
done.
blue dot. No, we're not done. We're not W yet.
5D.
All right. So I went how far across? I went 1. 5D, 1, and I hit the blue dot. For those of you who are going, what'd she do? I got to 5D. I went 1. I hit the blue circle. The blue circle is where the periodic table has been cut. I have to follow it down. 4F. How many of these do I have?
14.
That's how they got 14. When I get to the end, to quote Ann today, you went where? You're not done? No, I'm not done. all the way back to the blue circle because I'm not a W. Now, I'm back where? I'm still back at 5D, but I have how many more? 1, 2, 3. Now, am I going to leave my configuration written that way?
No, you're gonna combine like it's math.
You're going to combine like it's math class.
So it's gonna be 5D4.
That is correct. So we're going to write it as XE, 6S2, 5D4, 4F, 14.
So
Yep.
if we don't combine, will you take off?
Yes, I will.
Okay, and on the place tomorrow, if we just, if we know that we have to do that, we just skip that second, we don't show you, but we get it right, are you gonna take off?
What if you?
Like, if
You don't have to show the work.
Like if you just combine it.
Yes, that's fine. And if you accidentally flip these and have the F before the D, I don't care there either.
Okay.
Does not matter if they're flipped. Yes.
No matter what number, that 4 would be. Like, okay, so it's a 4 now because we added the 3 in the 4.
Mhm.
But what if we added like a 6 and an 8?
Oh.
Is that even possible? Like when you combine it.
No, 6 and 8 wouldn't be possible because you're only gonna have 10. For D, you can't combine a 6 and an 8 to get 10. I mean, you could combine like a 1 and a 5, or you could combine a 1 and a 4, but you will never combine something that's going to be greater than 10. That makes sense to you? Okay. All right. Can we do another one?
I mean, if we don't have a choice.
Well, I was just going to practice a little more before you saw it on a quiz, but it doesn't matter to me.
Can we do the quiz on like next week?
Doesn't matter to me.
You want
I mean, I'm grading it regardless, but I'm just trying to help you all do well.
Why won't the line graph thing not work with the one?
Huh?
Why won't the line graph not work?
Because it doesn't account for 5D1 and 6D1. Doesn't account for that. Okay. Let's say we do SM. SM, Samarium. Samarium. All right, so where's that whole row sit? Okay, remember, we got to get the noble gas before it, right? So where does the whole row sit in terms of getting the noble gas?
6. Is it
Xeon?
Sits right here at this circle.
Xeon.
Okay, sits at the circle, so all the way to the end and up, so it's xenon. Okay, so xenon. So after xenon, we have what? 6S2, 5D1,
and then 4F.
4F. Yep. Do I go back up this time?
No.
No, because we're down there and we're done.
Is it shorthand?
Anything we're doing with the noble gases is shorthand.
I was fine with orbital notations and diagrams.
You're the one who was complaining about the arrows.
Yeah.
Moan badly about the arrows, I might
I
add.
like the arrows better than that.
Yeah,
Too bad.
You can give me 84 arrows and I will write them all.
Right. All right, let's do Seaborgium. Seaborgium, SG.
That's something no one ever sees. And it's discovered once.
All right, Alex says RN. Do you agree with him? Okay, so RN,
Wait, how would you argue?
because
you go up.
go all the way to the end and up. Okay, so RN. What's next?
7S2.
7S2.
6.
Here's 6D1. You're at the triangle. What do you do at the triangle? Go down.
F14.
5. Whoops, that looks terrible. 5F. 14. Where do I go if I'm at the end?
63.
6D.
3. But really it's
1, 2, 3. So it becomes RN, 7S2, 6D, 4, 5F, 14. Questions? Yes, no?
Why is this so difficult?
Can we do one by ourselves?
Yep.
No. Okay. We have a quiz tomorrow on it. On the quiz.
Those are the last 2 questions on the quiz.
We can take the quiz next week.
Let's do
We
lead.
can take it on Monday.
Let's do erbium. Lead and erbium.
She said, can we try one?
Well, I gave you 2.
See, look, that's not my fault.
Yes.
Both of those include that bottom row, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
What do you do for the second one since there's no noble gas and you go from another one?
What do you mean?
Like, so you go to the end of the row and you're at that LU one to 71, so you go up and there's no noble gas.
All right, this whole row, right here, right? Where does it sit? The circle or the triangle? So you go to the circle, and what's the noble gas for the circle?
Xenon.
So you do xenon. Yeah. Yeah. Wrong number right there. What number sits from that?
Oh.
And that tiny little mistake will cost you the whole question. Yeah, really. They're fine. The only, and I won't take off for this. 6B2 is typically the end. Okay, yeah, it's fine. Typically, we do it this way. Now, some textbooks will put it in order by number instead of energy, so they'll actually do 4F14, 5D10, 6S2, 6B2. And that's why I would take off. No, you're not done. Oh, hold on. You're doing erbium? Yes, that one's done. This one's not because you forgot something. If you add this up, if you add up xenon, xenon has 54 electrons, plus 2 is 56, 66, and 2 is 68. And lead has 82. So you're missing something. What do you think you're missing? Whoa. And when it cross your dots, you did not go down and take up 4F14. You're missing 4F14. That's all you're missing. Yep. What? Yes. This is like 7? Yeah. That should be 4. Right?
Oh, I
If
don't know.
if that said 4, it would be right, but because that says 7, that's what I just told Priya, that one number causes it to be wrong.
I don't know where I got that from.
This is right, except for, I'm gonna say 6.
I can't read any of these words.
All right, let's look at your answers instead of me walking around to everybody. All right, so if we look at this for lead, what noble gas do you have? Xenon, and then 6s2, 5d1, 4f14, 5d9, so we're just gonna make it 5d10, and then 6p, 6p2.
I think it's right.
Very good. I had every confidence. All right, yeah, you can. This whole row sits at the circle. So if this whole row sits at the circle, what's the noble gas? Xenon. And then 6s2, 5d1, 4f11.
And you're done.
And you're done.
So, say you picked, I don't know what PT is, but say you picked that one.
It's platinum.
Say you picked platinum. We would have to do.
Xenon.
Yeah.
6s2, 5d1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 4f14. You do 5d1,
Yeah.
Then the
4f14,
Yeah.
and then 5d7, and you'd combine them, so it'd be 5d8.
See, that confused me.
No, I just did it in my head. I was just giving you the answer.
if you let me use
okay.
this chart on your quiz, I'll do really
You
good.
cannot, all right, you cannot have that chart. I will let you have a chart you can write on. You can write anything you want on it,
I do better.
but you have to be able to write on it. Okay?
Are we coloring again?
Yep, we are.
Is that the one we use on a quiz?
No, that's for, what's tomorrow? Tuesday. This is for Wednesday's quiz.
What? We got one tomorrow and Wednesday.
You got one tomorrow and Wednesday.
I think it was. I thought you liked this one.
Even I doubt that one.
I was like, what? What happened?
No.
When will our test be? Wait, what?
Best guess.
Tuesday.
Yeah. Oh,
Tomorrow.
right.
It's the same thing.
Say what? Somewhere in the ballpark of 11. And get the thingamabob out of
The
the
colored pencil.
colored pencil. Now, this Powers finally texted me on where that is to be for.
It was a note.
Is this the thingamabob?
There was a
No, move them down.
I finally found it. I found one that was free from our.
You can do conversation.
Y'all are
Using your library.
It's okay. Just a lot.
Like 11.
That's not a number.
Even after.
That's not the thing you bought. Oh my God, is that?
Oh my God.
Is that?
Yes, Angel, is that?
Can I just bring my flag?
I don't care, dude. Just, you gotta know it.
Alpha line.
You love me. They had me.
It was coming with the red. Coming with the red. Who got pink? Why your purple pretty and mine's not?
Because my purple wasn't Crayola.
I'm really mad. Everybody be so
I hate them.
crazy.
I remember someone brought me a group chat yesterday, and they involved,
And it has this sharp.
it's a form of writing.
I didn't want to keep color. I mean,
All I saw was that. All I saw was that word over there when I turned around.
Color quickly.
that's a lot.
Oh, yeah.
You color it like you did the squiggles.
You can color it any way you want to, but I'm not giving you very long, so this does not need to be a museum piece. Now, I will tell you that we are going to come back and put in symbols, so you're going to need to be able to put in symbols. So squiggles may not work very well because of the symbols. Now, it does not need to be a museum piece. These, again, are notes. Okay, you cannot use this on a quiz. So those of you who like to outline each box, you are not going to have time to outline each box.
At me next time.
I didn't know that you were one of those people who did that. Then you need to take it with you and bring it back to me. I'm just telling you. I just don't have that kind of time for you, Diamond. Your colors do not need to be the exact same as my colors. Now, I tried to vary them all so that the colors are different all the way through the table, and I tried to write neatly. Now, those are just the names of the groups or families. If you know that you color slow, I suggest you do like Sailor did and take a picture. Because we need to put in periods and groups. We need to put in the types of elements and some other things today. Okay? Those things have to go on the table by 9:55. That survey got in the way and mucked up my plans for coloring today.
No.
But I mean, would it be a normal week if we didn't have something like that?
Huh?
Would it be a normal week if we didn't have
And they
something?
never-
Yeah, we got it
We
done.
do this every day, be like, "Do you like this?"
It really does.
Yeah, I heard him say this.
I mean, I can just keep my job.
She be talking about her Spanish.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She went yesterday, and then it translated to what's in the
Our
same.
tactics today.
I did all research.
And our
She
research.
can't
She can't stand it.
And the bride.
It's just stuff like, at least one is related to.
I was at Nick Christmas in Spanish with me, Miss A ain't there.
I'm just saying about everything.
Okay.
Now, if y'all are gonna talk about budget, you better color quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Is he accepting late?
His class is pretty fun, honestly. Yeah, it is pretty fun.
He really does.
Who do I get your baby teach at now?
Central.
Mr. Remember when he got a band bun?
Oh, that was.
No, he wouldn't never let us touch his hair, like, first of all.
Why would you want to?
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
It's so pretty.
His breath stank.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
His breath stank, bro.
You can't even.
It's not like he works here.
I ain't even like asking for help, bro. 'Cause he's the guy.
No, one time Joe farted in class.
Delete.
And he got mad.
He was the most annoying.
No, he got mad. He made a mistake in there. He was like, "Sis, I don't want to stay here. He always y'all stay here and just stop partying. I want to What? I remember
Remember when Mr. Kelly got on Joel?
No, y'all remember when Kelly kept stealing my
Yeah, he ripped it up.
and he danced.
Super dance.
She stole my agenda, my tater tots off my lunch break.
$200 blocker, but I guess you don't remember that.
$200 out of Jayla's blocker.
Oh my God, that's what she
And
did.
then my snacks. That wasn't me. Just said.
I was like,
I missed it, bro. I was like, man, as soon as I came back in,
Oh,
it's everything.
oh, you.
And Miss Nosky was pregnant, so she was hiding out in her room.
Y'all remember all
He was
we didn't
walking
even have it, so
around
that was
saying,
just stood
"Breaking
there.
chimpanzee."
We just stood there like,
He didn't even have to go that way.
nobody in you in my class, bro. So, he got pregnant with like a Christmas break. Yes. Can I say something?
They always learn things.
I had a Richie chimpanzee on my back, interesting down, and while she was knocking things out, I was picking them up and putting them back. You kidding me? I called her what she got this early, and she apparently took it. It was, and I enjoyed it.
It was that one girl.
That was hilarious.
No.
That was so
That's it.
funny.
I'm sorry, I'm not pregnant.
That still haunts me.
that says Darren family, right?
Yes, the top element of the
It
group.
looked like me.
BO.
Oh, yeah.
Miss Clinton, what's her name? The math teacher that was upstairs.
No.
Miss what? Not yeah. What's she?
Wait, do we color eight?
Oh,
Like,
I like Miss
You color what?
Hydrogen.
No, that's why I left hydrogen out of color.
Miss Mike.
Yeah, in group one, if you get it, it's okay. It's just not technically about it.
I remember when Diamond got that.
Oh yes.
Oh.
do at home?
No, we were still on.
I'm trying to tell you about
Like
me.
every day, it's so great.
Whoever our son was.
Yeah, they would be like,
I was like,
y'all
y'all are terrible. She's trying her money.
It's your fault, like, you
Like, even if she That is Mr. Biker before I got fired.
He was our math teacher last year, and he wasn't there one day, so
We don't talk about that thing.
Miss Heather was looking him up online, and she found some interesting things.
Man, I'm scared to go to her house. She gonna know all my work.
Who?
Miss Heather.
She gonna.
Oh, I don't want to get anything in here.
No, she
Scares me.
You what?
I really did. I talked to her daughter for like a week.
It's too, like, passive aggressive.
Like, talk.
I
I didn't know it was her mom though. Wait,
You better check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Oh, really? I was like, no one thinks it's funny.
It's funny with comparison for her.
It's bad, it's like.
I think it's Miss Hall.
I was like, she doesn't go for those. That's her action.
She did all like trap music.
That's like, really, that's like on the next level.
I can play like a light music. That will work. I made the day. Like, you don't say anything.
I'm sure if I said his wife was a couple.
I mean,
She's talking about the sugar.
He
never puts no place to what?
You said her first name.
Never put grades. Tell me.
I was there when I walked out and stood there, you had a baseball bat. Which is back to the 90s.
And he still never put grades.
I remember I had like 123 in his class at one time.
I passed the class with a 97.
No, it's like 130.
Does he still work? Because he give extra
You
credit.
get like a lot of extra credit.
Isn't Mr. Harrison like he give extra credit for extra?
Yeah.
They said
Because they actually wanted that to happen.
Did you have to teach her?
She was actually the worst. You asked for help, and she's like, oh.
I don't remember anything.
Yes,
he
Oh,
was
he's
the
not.
worst.
What?
It's like he was
Harrison,
trying to
teacher, okay.
Yeah, I know he's a
She was my sister's teacher. And now she was on super. No trial.
Miss Wall, what's the other word for oxygen?
But that's what these kids he can give them. But it's his job, man.
Yeah, let you be counting. Is it ABC?
1, 2, 5.
Do we have to revise this one?
He ain't got no dick.
Yeah.
Really.
They used to talk about him because he lived with his mom.
You said maybe though.
I mean, he got money though.
I remember when y'all were.
I told you, it's not tomorrow, it's Wednesday. You have until Wednesday to learn.
That's 2 days.
Wait,
Usually it's the next day.
Tuesday?
So you have an extra day than most of my classes.
We have to learn this?
Yeah, by Wednesday.
This is hard uphill for
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No, be fine.
You need colors?
All we have to do now.
I think I can make one color each.
I got it.
I need 3 colors.
I don't have that. You just pencil. Use white.
No, that's
Yeah,
it.
use white one too.
What?
Really?
What color?
I use both of these. I use my black and I just need one color. It's only a row of color.
You'll eat, how many
I don't have pink yet.
Oh, check.
No, that.
Do we have to be able to just recognize them, or do we have to write it?
Say what?
Do we have to just be able to recognize them, or do we have to write it?
Oh, you'd have to write it.
Like fill out a chart?
Oh.
No, I'm gonna give you questions.
Hey.
Your hand is not
Bro,
gonna.
this is sad. Y'all didn't know how I passed my 10th, 7th grade. I had to learn to spell independent from the song. Look, that's
Okay, so what's that?
I remember
Chris, can I see those colors?
I had to work with
Thank you. I really cannot spell banana without singing that song.
I don't even spell it right.
You sure? Is that lanthanide or lanthanide?
Lanthanide.
There you go.
And for that, were you here the day we did, Annette, were you here the day we did the chocolate? Okay. Ariel, were you here the day we did the chocolate? Hey, was the other angel here the day we did the chocolate?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Excuse- Hey,
Maybe.
hey,
I think.
I know.
Why'd you call her sir?
Hey, you didn't give me a live report.
Said that out loud.
Why you gotta call that way?
Okay, just asking.
I had it, I just didn't do the, I didn't finish the calculation. Because I didn't have the calculator.
You don't have a cell phone?
No.
Really?
I have a cell phone, but I don't have it right now.
Okay. I'm always amazed by people when they tell me that, this day and age.
I think, I don't know, it's called punishment.
Oh,
No.
it's not punishment, okay.
Okay.
It's punishment. He's gonna make it.
It wasn't my fault though.
It wasn't your fault. It just gets better and better.
That's my mom's favorite thing to do. I'll take
Yeah. Other stuff. All right, everybody got the names?
No.
Put the names down. We got other stuff we gotta do.
Okay, I'm on the last one. We don't have time for it.
Yes, we do.
No, we don't. I'm trying to.
Might be almost time to go.
Well, I don't think I need to last minute.
Write it down.
Okay, I'm gonna finish going.
Take a picture of it.
I'll finish now.
Okay.
I need to read our names. I need to read.
You better write them down. Get somebody else to take a picture of it. The only thing I've managed to get in Power School is you'll have grades, by the way.
Oh, no.
But that's in.
Okay, that's enough.
The lowest grade was an 84, other than the 3 people who turned it in late. And the only reason it's lower than an 84 at this point is because they lost 10 points for being late. Otherwise, we still wouldn't have anybody with less than 84. All right, you need to draw. You need to draw in your staircase. All right. Now, the first thing we need to do is number groups, periods, and talk about the types of elements. First of all, groups. Which way do groups run? Up and down. Okay? So there are 18 groups. There's group numbering and modern group numbering. If you look at your orange periodic table, they're numbered both ways. I will tell you now, when I give you this quiz, there are no group numbering on the table that I'm going to give you. They're numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Now, the F block does not have any group numbering, okay? Does everybody understand that? Because the F block has been cut out and is at the bottom, there's no group numbering for the F block.
Does it go over the GE on the staircase? Like, is it over GE?
Yeah. Yep. So if I ask you, for example, about arsenic, arsenic would be in what group? It'd be in group number 15. If I ask you about TC, TC is in group number 7. Everybody okay with that? All right. Periods.
Doesn't have any numbers.
What?
You said the F block.
Has no group numbers. That's correct. Periods. Whoops. Run left to right. And they're numbered 1 to 7. They're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now, this is slightly different. Remember the symbols we put in earlier?
No.
This circle and the triangle that I used? The F block does have periods here because they were cut out of these rows. They do have periods. Okay? So what period were they cut out of? That's right. This was here, so that's period 6. And this came from there, so that's period 7. All right? These are periods. Not to be confused with the 4 and 5, which were what numbers? Those were energy levels. Okay? The numbers we used earlier were energy levels. These are periods. Okay? So, again, if I ask you about arsenic, arsenic would be in period number 4, and TC would be in period number 5. Okay? If I ask you the same elements I asked about earlier, if I ask you period numbers, TC's here, what period would it be in? 5. Arsenic's here. What period would it be in? In period 4. Okay? Everybody okay with groups and periods? All right, let's talk types of elements. Brenda, you got a question?
Yeah, I'm kind of speculating.
No, you got 5 minutes left. Administrators yell at me like I'm nuts if I send you out.
So the dot and the triangle go along with 6 and 7?
Yep.
So if you were to pick RH, it would be in period 5.
Period 5 and group 9. Okay? All right, metalloids. Metalloids, we're going to use a symbol. I'm going to use a triangle. Metalloids are on the staircase. Okay? So, the things that I draw little triangles in are metalloids. They're all 5 of the elements that are on top of the staircase.
We write this on here, right?
Say what?
We write that on here, right?
Yep. And only 2 below the staircase. There are 7. Now, the weird part about metalloids is not all periodic tables agree on this. And I have no explanation as to why we cannot agree on what is and is not a metalloid. Okay? So, those are the ones that I'm going to stick with. They're going to be metalloids. Okay? So, the 5 on top and the 2 on the bottom. Now, based on what we talked about earlier in the semester, where are nonmetals?
On the left or on the right?
Okay, nonmetals are on the right. Nonmetals are on the right. So I'm going to use little circles. Okay. Now, there's one exception. What's the one exception that's not on the right?
The hydrogen.
The hydrogen's way over here on the left. I'm going to put a little circle on hydrogen. Okay? Now, I typically do not color in the metals. Okay? I usually just put a little note. Everything else is a metal. Okay? Now, that leaves us with three things we have to do. We have to do the states, the oxidation numbers, and the outer shell electrons that we can do tomorrow. All right? Now, if you still have pencils to put away, you need to put those in the case at the back. I'm not going to assign any actual homework. Okay? Your job is to study how to do the things that are on the quiz for tomorrow and Wednesday. Okay? Don't moan, you don't know how to do it. There's a whole periodic table that you can practice with. If you do elements to practice with and you want to know if they're right tomorrow, I can very quickly tell you if they're right if you show them to me. Okay? Practicing and studying these, you have a quiz on Wednesday. Don't moan that you don't know the parts. The only thing we have left are solids, liquids, and